are on page 285, and we are going to be correcting our homework. So all that you had for homework was number 1 and 2. But I know that this may have been a little tricky because they were word problems. One of them for sure had information in it that you did not need, and there's just a lot of stuff to keep track of. So for number 1, it said, a tropical storm has been moving at 15 miles per hour for the past 2 days. So for every hour, it has traveled 15 miles. Bess recorded that the storm moved 135 miles yesterday and 75 miles today. For how many hours has Bess been keeping track of the storm? Draw a bar diagram to write equations to help you solve. So, you guys, we need to know how long has Bess been keeping track of the storm. The information we do know is that the storm was moving at 15 miles per hour. It moved 135 miles yesterday and 75 miles today. So the first step we needed to accomplish for this problem was find out how many miles had the storm traveled in all. Yosius, turn around. Focus on your math, please. So that means we should have added 135 plus 75 to get the total amount of miles the storm had moved. That would have gotten you 210 miles. So the storm has moved 210 miles, and it's moving at a speed of 15 miles per hour. So to find out for how many hours Bess has been keeping track of the storm, we would then take the total amount of miles it moved, 210, and divide it by its speed, 15 miles per hour. And 210 divided by 15 is 14. So Bess has been keeping track of the storm for 14 hours. Show me on your thumb, how did you do on number 1? How did you do on number 1? Okay. Yeah, it could be either 1 through 5 or your thumb. Okay, awesome. Then we had number 2. Now, number 2 gave us some information we didn't need. It said a parking garage has 6 levels. Each level has 15 rows, and each row has the same number of parking spaces. There are 2,250 parking spaces in all. How many parking spaces are in each row? Write an equation or equations to show your work. Now, what piece of information do we not need from this problem, you guys? For number 2, what piece of information did they give us that we don't need? What piece of information is that, Will? Yeah, we do not need to know that there are 6 levels. So whenever there's information you don't need, you guys, you can put just a line through it so that you're not getting distracted by it. I don't like it when they give you guys extra information you don't need. So we could really cross out that first sentence. But each level has 15 rows. There are 2,250 parking spaces in all. We want to know how many parking spaces are in each row. So we would take the total number of parking spaces, 2,250, and divide it by the amount of rows, which is 15. Well, 2,250 divided by, wait a minute.
You want me to use this when I got 150. Yeah, Shane, you got 150. Yeah.
What did they do? Oh, you guys, okay. They didn't say they wanted the total okay. So apparently we do need the 6th level for information. I guess they wanted to know how many per level. Were they very clear on that? No. So if you just took 2,250 and divided it by 15 and you got 150, right? I would accept that answer because they did not say they want to know how many parking spaces are in each row on each level. But if you did take 2,250 divided by 6, get 375, then divide that by 15 and got 25, I would also accept that. You just need to make sure you have parking spaces or spaces as your unit. I'm so sorry that they were not more clear on that. I apologize. Actually, I shouldn't be apologizing. I didn't write this question. I apologize on behalf of our workbook. So either one would work. They should have said how many parking spaces are in each row on each level. But they didn't say that. So you just found how many parking spaces are in each row. Sorry about that. Okay. How did we do on number 2? How did we do? Accepting either answer, how did you do? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. I've noticed that sometimes our workbook's really good at asking word problems, and sometimes our workbook is really bad at asking word problems. There's really no in between. It's either a great word problem or a kind of word problem. Okay. Okay, you guys, here's what we're going to do. I do want to give you a piece of information before we start that Google form. We've reached the end of the division chapter in our workbook. We've been practicing multiplying and dividing whole numbers. So this Friday we will be having, I don't really want to call it a test because it's 10 questions. It's more of a quiz, but it's like a test. You will be graded on it. So I'm going to come around right now. You all should have take-home folders out. I'm going to come around right now and give you a review sheet. This review sheet is due Thursday. So when I pass it out, you're putting your name at the top and you are writing due Thursday. Capiche? All right.
How many questions is that?